So when they say you want to build around your life, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what does my perfect life look like? And then you have to start living it. It doesn't matter what scale it's at. You have to start living it that right then. So if you want to start a business, you have to start writing down all the things you need to do and then find time every day to do one or two of those things. And then slowly those one or two little things will add up. And before you know it, you'll be ready to do a full launch, or you'll have your first client, or you'll hit your first 1,000 followers. But you just have to decide this is what you want and go for it.
You're listening to Brainwork Framework, a business and marketing podcast brought to you by focus-biz.com.
Amanda, you've been doing a lot of fantastic work with brand strategy, consulting. You're working on your own business, kind of doing a new twist to the content that you haven't done before. This is like you're rediscovering yourself, but you were making a correlation between the marketing, the capitalism, and religion. Can you tell me more about that?
I was like going through my own process of like finding myself in therapy, trying to find the confidence to go after the person I wanted to be. And when you're raised in the church, you have certain beliefs that you're raised with. And even though on one hand, like your parents are like, yes, you can be anything you want, go for it. You still have these beliefs that are instilled in you with the best thing you can do is be a wife and mother. And that's what you're supposed to do. And I was working on finding like my own confidence. When you start to kind of see that intersection of religion and capitalism and marketing coming together. And what I mean is it doesn't matter if you are marketing your church or if you are marketing a product. You have to have a message. You have to have media spin. You have to make money to pay people. You have to scale. It does not matter if you are a church or a business or whatever. You have to know how to scale and put your message out there. And so women aren't supposed to have messages that go out outside of the church. The women are supposed to hide behind the church and build the church up and let the church handle everything. But I was like, no, this is my business. And so I had to separate who I was. At the end of the day, it does insurance companies, the government, anything that you work in, you have to make money to pay your workers. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So I call it the game of capitalism. And I'm learning how to make the game of capitalism work for me.
100%. We don't have to agree with the system and how it's built and how it works for people, but we need to find ways to navigate within the system. Because if we can't, don't hate the player, hate the game. It's like we have to make things work for ourselves and play within the rules.
Absolutely. And so that's why I burned everything down. Freelancing was my side job. It was my side hustle, how I did things, and, was able to turn it full time. And now I was like, okay, I feel like I'm just going in circles, but I'm ready to kind of scale and do something different. And I need to make my job fun again. And so literally as marketers, we look for patterns. We have all those patterns, right? When I tell you every pattern in my life reappeared at the same time, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
It's some divine intervention.
I was finally just like, okay, we're going to walk away from everything. I'm going to go through journals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then I was like, oh my God, I know how to play the game of capitalism. You start with one thing, you have your one offer, and then you have your small little income streams. And it doesn't have to be big. I was like, okay, I can go out freelancing. Freelancing is my big ticket offer. I'm doing strategy now, but I can go work. It doesn't matter the company. I have my strategy. I know how the back end of the internet works. I know SEO. I know media buy. I know how to link things and how to do all the keyword strategies. Like I know all of that. So as long as you know how to do it and you have an overarching strategy, it doesn't matter the industry. You just take your strategy with you and you replicate it. All you have to do is change out the messaging. So I was like, okay, I can do this. Took off, literally had to go reset my nervous system to be like, okay, what the hell is going on in my life? Work through some stuff. And I was like, okay, I go back, I get my big strategy clients again, and then I take my systems and I break my systems down and I start teaching people how to use my systems so they can start their own freelancing journey. And that's literally how it started coming together.
I love that.
It was I'm calling it the game of capitalism.
It,
If
it
we're
really
gonna live in a capitalistic society, we're gonna make it work for us.
right, absolutely. And we don't have to use the examples of bad businesses to be like, okay, I can't. You can still be successful with still having a moral compass and do things the right way. You can choose to spend your money and support the places that you want to. But yes, it feels like for those who don't like their 9 to 5 or looking for side income or just some freedom for themselves, that's why I got into business. I hated
Mhm.
9 to 5, waking up early, the travel time, gross. I didn't want it. And it was like, how do I find my path within the system? And if you work hard enough, long enough, things can finally work out for you, and you've
Absolutely.
created your own version of what success looks like for you because it's different for everybody.
And it's one of those deals where I always tell people it doesn't take a lot of money to live your best life. It just takes a plan. It takes a strategy. It's knowing how much money you have coming in and going out. So what I'm literally am going to be doing is setting up income streams where, okay, this income stream, this little digital download teaching X, Y, and Z that I'm going to eventually have on my website and then set up on Etsy. Okay, well, everything from this one income stream is going to fund all of our fancy dinners next year. I'm not trying to go build some multi-billion-dollar empire because one, I don't think there should be billionaires, but two, I make money to give most of my money away. Like, and the thing is I want to choose who I'm giving my money to. I don't want to be told who to give my money to.
And especially in this game of I feel like is late stage capitalism, there have been
Mhm.
many big players who have had a large majority control for such a long time that they have power and influence over many things. We
Yeah.
have an illusion of choice when we go to the grocery store and we see the aisles of cookies or crackers, and gosh, it's like, wow, look at all these different brands. But if you break it down, okay, it's owned by a couple big companies. And I feel like there's more morality within a lot of these smaller entrepreneurs, business owners. So the more that we can kind of control our own destiny and we can vote with our dollars, then I feel like this is going to create the competition that is needed in capitalism here. They need some competition
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah. I mean, without competition, you don't have capitalism. Without slave labor, you don't have capitalism. But I mean, everybody wants a tribe until it's time to be a villager, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or everybody wants a village until it's time to be a villager. And one of the hardest things I had to learn was some people that you're friends with. So and this is not a bad thing. So I want to be clear. This isn't a bad thing, but not everyone that has access to you deserves tribal access to you, if that makes sense. So I had to learn how to put a boundary and it's on me. Like I was always an open book. Like these are my goals. These are the things I'm working towards but not everyone deserves to hear it. I was just always share with what you're doing. And if anybody wants to do it with you, they'll come do it with you. And sometimes you got to pull back and realize, okay, these people can have access to me on this level, but that's where I need to, stop.
Right. Because as entrepreneurs, for everybody, the most valuable resource is our time. And many
Mhm.
people who are in jobs, they're trading their time for money.
Right.
And as business owners, now we have to decide who is worth our time. Where do
Mhm.
we put that effort and that energy? So that way, one, you can have personal fulfillment, you can build your business, and just feel secure.
And the other thing that I really struggled with is I'm the first woman in my family to really kind of like grow and scale any sort of career, not just a business, but like be a career minded woman. And again, it's not a bad thing. I don't have kids. So I get to grow a career, go do the things I want, and then give my money back to the people I want to give my money back to. I didn't have a role model or mentor that I could follow in the footsteps to kind of figure this out. So the worst thing I did was not start a personal brand while I was freelancing in the right way. So when I started launched my business for real estate agents, I was marketing myself as a marketer for real estate agents, but I felt like I was like stuck in the middle of how to grow the business and who I was and really discovering how to grow a business that felt right and aligned with me. Growing a business, a lot of self-development, but it's really hard when you're figuring it out on your own. Like there wasn't anyone. that I could go to just for advice. And when the full blown late stage capitalism hit, and you're like, okay, I'm in marketing. How do I make capitalism work for me? Because I'm in marketing. Like, I have to work. You have to go figure out, okay, how can I make this work? Just not for me, but for everybody. How can I help as many people as possible?
Right, absolutely. And that's why it's so important that, we as the business owners of today and tomorrow, that we are kind of leading that charge. We
Mhm.
don't have to go the direction of, these big corporate conglomerates. We can do our own thing. And I think, that's why your work is so important, is because that's why branding is more emotional. It's not just the aesthetic, as you kind of like, that's what you explain to people. Can you go into more detail about why that branding connects emotionally with people and why that's so important?
So when people connect with who you are emotionally, they're more likely to buy from you because they feel like they're part of the story. So when you open up about building your business or your brand, and again, I wish someone had told me, if this is the route you want to go, the best thing you can do is build a personal brand first. But again, no one told me that because I was thinking business route. But then once the business started and I started doing some self-development, it was like, okay, I actually can see all the ways that I can take this. But if you want people to really actually like invest in you and throw themselves behind you, especially like because I was doing digital marketing and I was second guessing my own skills because I hadn't hit certain milestones. So having to bring in that emotion with it brings people into the story, and then they want to see you succeed. So now you're telling the story of how the business came together, and they're witnessing the things that you're overcoming live as you're going through it. But if you're open about how you overcame it, and then you're like, hey, if you want to do this too, I overcame it already. Here's how I overcame it. People are more likely to follow you. It's really hard to teach how you do something if you've never failed and then did it again at a better way with a better mindset or a better um, uh, direction or strategy. I mean, doesn't matter what you're trying to sell. It doesn't matter if it's religion or product or a politician or whatever. Emotional triggers, knowing how to either get someone really excited or how to piss someone off is going to make them dish out their money.
It's almost like you need to get people to believe. Like within everything, the emotional triggers, everything you're putting together, you have to get people to believe.
And I think because we're on the back side of a lot of this, like we know the message we're trying to get out, we know what we're trying to do. It's almost a fine line because some way you're manipulating people. Like we're purposely trying to get them to feel a certain way. Like we want them to be really excited right now, or we want them thinking about X, Y, and Z when we play this, or we want them to feel this way when we say these words. I mean, I had to go do a whole lot of work in therapy once I was, kind of working through all that because marketing is emotional. It doesn't matter what you're selling. And when people feel connected to the brand, they feel connected because they see themselves. They see that brand has a solution to a problem that I have. And
Hmm.
that brand sees me. They see what I'm going through. They are going to fix whatever it is. So I'm willing to give them my money.
Right, absolutely. And that's a challenge, as we're, building and growing our business, sometimes people focus on perfection rather than let's get something out there. And we can change things down the road. It's not like this becomes a permanent, piece of you. You can always start over. You can rebrand, you can revitalize what you have going on. We don't have all the answers. We don't have people to guide us and direct us. It's one big experiment for us, so we're kind of figuring things out as we go, and that's okay. You don't have to have all the answers now. You just have to take action and move forward. You can fix things later as you're going through, as I'm going through it as well. I just did a website rebrand. I was trying to get more clear on my offer. What does my framework look like?
Hmm.
So I even have like a new lead magnet that deals into the offer, like you were saying, how you kind of build, your income streams and how it all has to tie together. So, super excited for that. For me, I built like a growth engine blueprint. So
Hmm.
this is how I attract, nurture, convert, and amplify my clients, what has worked for my businesses. And this is what you're building as well. And your focus on the branding. And that's what people connect with, that emotional branding.
So the way like I see it going like in the future is like working with, well, because I do work with real estate agents a lot. So like I can sit and do a brand awareness campaign strategy with them just to keep them in front of people. Or if they want to start a second income stream, okay, they have enough clients that they want to do as far as houses, but they don't want to give up more time, but they need to get their income up. Well, what is it going to take to start a coaching business? Or how can we take how you run your real estate business and resell some of your systems to just to get some small income stream set up? They're $10, $20, not a lot of money, but if you can build an audience of real estate agents that are having the same problems as you have an income coming in by just selling your knowledge and things that you already overcame.
Right. And with those offers, a lot of it comes down to the volume. And I don't, sometimes we under or overestimate what that could look like. $10 to $20 doesn't seem like a lot, but when you multiply that by the hundred or a thousand, 10,000 people who could potentially get it, an income revenue stream that you would not have had before, that can be life changing for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm like, it doesn't take a lot, especially if you wanted to start setting up some small digital income streams. Doesn't take a lot of money, but it does take a strategy and a plan of, okay, how do I want to influence the world? Well, this is how I already influencing the world. I'm influencing the world with marketing, but how can I make this work better for me? And so you can be duplicated across any industry.
Right. Absolutely. Now, Amanda, for those who might be interested in connecting you and finding you online, where can they go?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Miss Amanda Renee. So MRS Amanda Renee, RENEE. And then I'm also, my website is missamandarenee.com. So they can find me there. I have a digital download available called Uncorking Your Story, How to Find Time for Confidence and Cocktails in the Midst of Chaos. So that kind of breaks down why I got started in freelancing and kind of what to do to get your mind in the right place to start freelancing. And then some of the things that you're going to share on social media to kind of start your freelancing journey and making a name for yourself within your skill. So whether it's, you're marketing yourself as a website designer, graphic designer, real estate agent, whatever it is, learn how to start using social media and some of the posts. And then the last section is how to get started with actual freelancing. So some of the different websites that you can use to find actual paying jobs and you're not just like sliding into random people's DMs.
I love that. That is wonderful. And we will have those links available down in the show notes and the description so everyone can get connected with Amanda here. Amanda, what are you looking forward to most for this coming year? You've kind of burned things down. You're rebuilding. You've got so much momentum going on. What is 2026 going to look like for you?
So this year, I'm really focused on just getting my personal brand out there. So a lot of brand awareness and finishing up getting all my systems put together so I can start giving them to other people so they can also start on their freelancing journey. So that's what I'm really working towards, is just trying to encourage other people to go start their freelancing journey and living their best life.
That is wonderful and super exciting. It's tough because we always want to help people. We always have more ideas than we can execute in a time frame, right? So
Mhm.
I kind of see that with you. You have so many big things that you're putting together. You've made great progress, but there's a long road ahead of you. But man, you are so close. Like you've got all of it together. It is literally right there. So keep up that great effort. You're doing a lot of great work. So excited to see where 2026 is going to lead for you. We have about 30 to 45 seconds. Wanted to open the floor to you. Maybe any last thoughts, things you want to tell other people as entrepreneurs, maybe trying to get started or launch or scale their business.
Yeah. So when they say you want to build around your life, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what does my perfect life look like? And then you have to start living it. It doesn't matter what scale it's at. You have to start living it that right then. So if you want to start a business, you have to start writing down all the things you need to do and then find time every day to do one or two of those things. And then slowly, those one or two little things will add up. And before you know it, you'll be ready to do a full launch, or you'll have your first client, or you'll hit your first 1,000 followers. But you just have to decide this is what you want and go for it.
Amanda, that is incredible. Very motivating because I know a lot of people struggle with that. One, trying to find out what their perfect life might be like, and just
Mhm.
those small action steps that it takes just to get a little momentum. Once you start building that up and you get success, you're going to increase your confidence, and that is just a snowball effect going forward. And suddenly you're going to look back and be like, "How did I get here? This is amazing."
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. It's just, one little step at a time.
100%. Amanda, thank you again for coming on our show and sharing your journey. So
Absolutely.
excited for the future for you. And thanks again and congratulations.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.